has won back-to-back All-Stars. Paul Mannion surely in the shake-up for a first All-Star this year. Bernard Brogan now. Remember the start he gave Dublin in the 2010 All-Ireland semi-final, but he's dropped that one. There's help from Mark Collins of Cork. Collins with the quick hands, back to Daniel Goulding in front of Hill 16. And there's the first point of this All-Ireland quarter-final, and it's Cork's. And he punches the air in delight. Daniel Goulding opens his account. Cork lead.
Yeah, lovely little bit of work outside. You know, Goulding gets it, it's too late in terms of marking him. It's all about accuracy, and that is his first shot at the goal, right over the bar.
Loose kick out from Stephen Cluxton. Meath really did a number on the Dublin kickouts in the Leinster final. Gave them more problems than any other team had this year. They've only lost one competitive match in 2013. Kieran Kilkenny. Keane O'Sullivan from Kilmacud Crows, going right through the middle. Bernard Brogan has dropped one short already. Brogan spins around, leaving Owen Callaghan for dead, but he's done it again. The Dublin captain, Stephen Cluxton. He's given that plenty, and that's right down the middle from Cluxton. Draw game.
Number 8 from Cork is extremely close to the ball. Pierce O'Neill, this is something that's creeping into the game. He's hardly 10 metres away.
So Cluxton for 2 out of 2. Nailed it again. They go in front.
I suppose you wouldn't be expecting him to get these, Darren. I say that with all respect to the man. I mean, he did kick the winner in an All-Ireland final from same distance with huge pressure against him. So these must look as tap-overs for him.
Right down the middle from Quirk. That was Alan O'Connor, the Dublin-born Alan O'Connor, who had it. James Loughery fouled. Cork win the free. Graham Canty. Out to the wing to Daniel Goulding. Now testing out this Dublin full-back line already. 2 Cork men in after it, and Jack McCaffrey after it, and Jack McCaffrey back hoovering up. James McCarthy on hand as well. 3 Cork men around him. Keane O'Sullivan had to get out of the way of the referee. Lost it. Kieran Sheehan for Cork. Sheehan, it's very high, and it's very accurate from Kieran Sheehan. 2 apiece in the All-Ireland quarter-final, and that's a nice rangefinder for Kieran Sheehan.
Yeah, well, the referee played advantage early on when the Dublin player obviously did not have the advantage, and the ball is turned over and ends up over the bar.
Dermot Connolly further at the field now. Michael Darragh McCauley, no Cork midfielder near him. He's open road in front, but Michael Shields behind him. Michael Darragh McCauley stops, shoots, and scores. It's certainly been open.
Yeah, it's a great start from both sides, but I would suggest this is not the type of football that Cork want to allow Dublin play. It's wide open, it's high.
For 3 out of 3, and that's just what he's got. And it's 4-2 to Dublin in the 10th minute.
Oh, it's outstanding stuff, isn't it, Dara? Beautiful contact, magnificent accuracy, length not an issue, very composed.
On Sheehan in space. Johnny Cooper in front of him. Brian Hurley now. Hurley running at Kevin O'Brien. Hurley for Cork. Slots that over, does he? The umpires, well, they've decided it is a point. Very fine score. Michael Shields right at the heart of this. Hurley's finish.
Yeah, but look at the strength of him. He just pushes Kevin O'Brien out of the way, and then rifles it over between the posts. Great score, Brian Hurley.
Cluxton happy to go long. Breaks for Mark Collins. Pierce O'Neill. Damien Cahalan. Kieran Kilkenny is back. Dublin dropping players back as John O'Rourke had a wild swing at that, but it wasn't wild at all. He gave it absolutely everything, and that is a gorgeous point from John O'Rourke. Just swung the leg at it and it sailed over. 4 each.
Yeah, it was a bullet, and I can tell you the fear in Stephen Cluxton's eyes when he realised that ball was flying towards his crossbar. He back at a rate of knots, but it cleared it for a front
of Michael Shields. Brogan, provider this time. Paul Flynn through. Was he pulled back? Flynn goes down. Seemed to collide. Up options all to his right, but McCaffrey goes himself. McCaffrey for Dublin. Cadigan got a foot to that. Bernard Brogan was lurking and free, but the pass to him wasn't good enough. Now it's Brian Cullen, Kieran Kilkenny, Diarmuid Connolly. They go back to go forward. Connolly swings a left at that, but he's missed it, mate. Diarmuid Connolly. Brian Cullen ahead. Paul Mannion is screaming for it. Again, he's got a yard or two on Clancy, but Diarmuid Connolly waits for another option. Certainly taking his time deciding, and then goes with the fist pass up towards Kieran Kilkenny. Brogan and Mannion wait, and Kilkenny from a difficult angle. A quarter of a way through the contest.
Nobody from Dublin has scored. The Dublin forward line has scored, though. That has to be a worry.
Cian O'Sullivan, and now Jack McCaffrey, almost in for a goal earlier, and he's back in again. Now it's Paul Flynn, over for a point. First point by a Dublin forward. It could and perhaps should have been in the back of the net.
Well, isn't pace a frightening thing? Hard to mark it. McCaffrey just sides through the Cork defence, offloads very well. I thought Paul Flynn would have to put it into the back of the net. Went for power, ball lifted over the bar.
Yes. More whistles. Catalan, elegant strike of the ball, and that's right down the middle and over the bar.
Fantastic. I've seen him do that a few times this season. He was very lucky afterwards. He actually went in after a Dublin player and slightly retaliated. He could have turned over a tap over free to a throw-in ball, but Goulding will take this one and give Cork the lead.
And Daniel Goulding scores those in his sleep, and Cork. James McCarthy. Cork getting plenty of players back. Brian Cullen. That's with Graham Panty in front of him. Now Michael Dara McCauley. A little bit of open road, but the angle is difficult. Alan O'Connor coming to close him down. And McCauley with a burst of speed. And McCauley! That got a touch. It got a touch. It's a 45.
Well, Jim Gavin will be going crazy because he should have flashed that ball just to a runner on his right shoulder. We pick it up here. He makes the break. Brilliant. This is great, but he's got to pass the ball just here. Instead, he backs himself, and it's saved. That's the problem. If you're going to take them on, make sure you score them. But Quirk gets his chest to it, but just on the right. I think it's Bernard Brogan will pick it up in the replay.
To bring them level. Over it goes. Oh no, that's gone wide. Diarmuid Connolly and Bernard Brogan was isolated. Cadigan is there. Brogan through. Is this his moment to come alive? Brogan denied by the post.
Oh, and he should have passed it as well. You'll see it in the replay. He was screaming for it earlier on from Michael Dara. This time was another player on his shoulder, and he doesn't give it. Brilliant running by him initially to make the gap. I think it's Cadigan he gets away from, is it? Just has to throw that ball to his right. It's another Dublin goal.
Chances Dublin have created almost twice as many as Cork. 170 got the 2010 All-Ireland semi-final, 1-6 of that from play. There is Paul Flynn, and that is a lovely point from Paul Flynn. 7-6.
That's a cracker of a game. Can't take your eyes off it, as you said, Dara. Great score, Paul Flynn. Well, it's a great effort. It hits the near post, but if you're going
Flynn. Again, it's for Brogan, and Cadigan's there with him, and he's beaten him in the air. Kieran Kilkenny goes for the point. Kilkenny, and he's got it. Was there half a chance for him to take it on and try and get in one-on-one with Quirk, but he felt this was the right call, and they lead by 2. 3 in a row now for Dublin.
Great play by Brogan in taking that directly from the line ball. A great first touch.
Collins and Rory O'Carroll gets there comfortably ahead of Kieran Sheehan. Get away that easily. Shields is with them all the way, and Brogan trying to burrow away through. In the end, he just coughed the ball up, and Damien Cahalane has it for Cork. Or maybe this is the moment. Tom Clancy is up from cornerback, and Clancy floats that one on the angle towards Kieran Sheehan. 2 dubs on him again, and there it goes over the bar for Mark Collins. And Cork needed that just to stem that blue tide. Just a point in arrears heading to half-time.
But you've got to credit Kieran Sheehan. I mean, Cork obviously know what he can do in the air at training, and they're targeting him. And against 2 Dublin players, he gets the touch back to Mark Collins, and he just floats it between. Crucial score, big score.
Aidan Walsh down injured. Bottom of your screen. Cork play on, and again it's the aerial route, and brilliant from Sheehan. Goal chance for Cork here. Deflected off O'Carroll. Still there for Cork. Half-hearted in the end from Brian.
Michael Sheehan has got in on Bernard Brogan now in a big way, trying to stem the tide there.
And as you saw, it's Cadigan now on Cullen. Here comes Michael Darragh-Macaulay. Diarmuid Connolly is in here. Connolly for Dublin goes for the goal. Shields manages to stop it. Can they get it into the back of the net? No, they're claiming an infringement. The Dublin...
Well, it's beautiful work by Connolly. Moves it inside. Oh yes, absolutely picked clean off the ground. That's a penalty. Technical infringement inside the small rectangle. Oh, how did he get away with that? A lot of legs.
Added time at the end of the first half. They could have had a penalty, should have had a penalty. Brogan puts over the point his first.
On grass, that's what it is really, and it's intriguing and enthralling at times to watch, see how teams can break through the defensive. But what you see here, there's no blanket defences, there's no swarms, there's no sweeper. So the modern day coaches will say, this is old-fashioned, but this is a traditional game of football, man versus man, where the 2 teams have set out their stall by trying to win the game by simply outscoring the opposition. At this stage in the first game, there was something like 6 or 7 yellow cards. There was almost 30 frees. In this game, we've had no yellow card and we've had 18 frees, and it's a very enjoyable game of football, and Cork are up for it.
Chasing grass, apart from the fact that you wouldn't have seen Kasparov reaching across the chess table and taking Karpov and dragging him to the ground just as he was about to checkmate.
Cynical, Joe.
It's a very, very good game of football, and there are a lot of thrills and spills in the game. We've seen a lot of good football. Bernard Brogan struggled very badly for confidence. You know, he was taken off 3 times already in the championship. He could have had the game won already. I mean, he spun around twice and got inside the defence. Normally, Bernard Brogan would put that chance in the net.
There were a number of Dublin goal chances in actual
Absolutely.
fact.
Cork also had a tremendous goal chance from Sheehan, who's a magnificent Gaelic footballer, magnificent in the air. We're seeing a lot of good skills. Dublin are a bit quicker, they're a bit more direct, they have a bit more firepower up front. So they're ahead at the moment. And a big problem for Cork at the moment is that Alan O'Connor is being heavily outrun by Michael Darragh-Macaulay.
They
need to switch him off him.
Can we give credit to Conor Coonan, because he's much maligned as a coach. He got it tactically, he got a lot of things spot on. The matchups, James Lockery and Kieran Kilkenny, he's really cancelled him out, and he's obviously identified the problem, that there is a weakness in that Dublin full backline. And
yeah, but the reality of this is if Dublin had to take some of these goal chances, they'd be out of touch at this stage. Paul Flynn blazes over there.
Mark Collins has a point from play for Cork so far this evening. He's happy with that. This close.
Well, I haven't kept a count on them, but it must be up around the 5 or 6 mark in terms of goal chances. And we did some analysis on this back at the Leinster Championship stage. You have to back yourself here. It's a great run by Diarmuid Connolly. He's entitled to have a go, and that is
Brian Cullen. Kieran Kilkenny bottled up 3 Cork men close to him. Bernard Brogan just the same. Cian O'Sullivan spots a gap and pops the ball into the space. Mannion's out there, and Jack McCaffrey going round the back. McCaffrey is through! Oh! What a goal from Jack McCaffrey! A stunning strike. How did he manage to fit that into the top corner? But he did. Quirk was out almost on his toe, and they've made their move, and they lead by 1-9 to 8. Early days, second half.
what a pass by Cian O'Sullivan in the back door. Lovely pick up by Mannion. Lovely quick transfer. Look at the pace, and he roofs it. Absolutely roofs it there. This is a tremendous finish for a wing back. He's been threatening it all afternoon, and bang, what a goal.
Saw Kieran Kilkenny receiving some treatment. Here's Stephen Cluxton. 4 points he's got in this All-Ireland quarter-final, and there Follow the play with Daniel Goulding. Again, they test out the full back line, and again, it's brilliant from Kieran Sheehan. What a save from Cluxton, but it's still there. O'Neill blocked by Rory O'Carroll. Out for the Sheehan again.
And when he came down, there was a sense that he might have been fouled in the initial contact from Kevin O'Brien. Referee gives him the advantage. Could have whistled that one up for a penalty, easy enough. Another great block. Dublin have done such work on the block. Dean Rock is in.
And his dad has a bit of history against Cork in big games in Croke Park, 1983. Goulding needs to slot this from the 45. They got the first point in the second half, and Goulding has struck that beautifully. It's going to go off. So this is a little further out. Distance shouldn't be an issue. He's turned his back on it and in disgust because he's put it. Goulding just drawing this in. That's a beautiful strike from Dan. Again with 12 players inside their own half. Now it's Michael Dara-McCauley. Alan O'Connor, good feet. Now Dean Rock. Rock for Dublin, and over it goes, and he's making an impression just a couple of minutes after coming on. Stretches it out to 4.
Nice ball in from Kieran Kilkenny, but Michael Dara makes the
hard. They start their pressing in their full forward line. They had it, then lost it. Good work from Cork. Paul Kerrigan fires it in long. Kieran Sheehan, lovely little touch from Sheehan. Now Brian Hurley turned back into trouble. Hurley goes high, and Hurley sends the ball over the bar. Really good point. Direct, fast ball.
He's Mannion the far side, but he uses a fist, and that puts too much power into it. Often coached him just use the open hand. It's a much nicer
save. But McCaffrey's pace is just frightening. Loose ball. Mark Collins of Cork. Paul Kerrigan. It's stretched out. O'Connor in front of him. Brian Hurley too. Kerrigan going himself. Now decides to go for Brian Hurley. Hurley for Cork spins one way, then the other, and Hurley drills it over the bar. Over the bar for Cork. 2 points down.
Well, what a sequence of play. This is a goal chance surely for Cork. Great play by Hurley. Gets.
Here's Dean Rock. And Rock has done his stuff in front of the post again. 2 decent possessions, 2 scoring chances, and 2 points. Goal between them. Once Michael Dara-McCauley. It's Dublin by 3. McCauley back to Kevin McManaman. Lovely little dummy and sidestep, and a nice point from Kevin McManaman. Moves it out to 4.
It has to be said, Michael Dara-McCauley is putting in a massive performance, clever as well, lovely solo dummy. I said those clearances can be costly. In the context of this sort of game, that's very costly. That's a 4-point cushion now with just over 10 minutes to go.
Paul Flynn and hands on that. Dean Rock to Flynn. Space for Kieran Kilkenny. Seems to be stretching out now. McManaman to his left, Brogan to his right. Poor pass, came off James. Donnick O'Connor. Goulding is calling for it on the 20-metre line. O'Connor trying to work it through to him. Pierce O'Neill now. Possibly a goal chance. Goulding put it over. Over for a point. Kevin McManaman. Jamie O'Sullivan. Can't get near him. Paul Flynn. Kieran Kilkenny. Kilkenny sends it up into the night sky.
It's over.
Over. He's had to work far harder for every possession this evening. 2 points for Kieran Kilkenny. Going off, and Dennis Bastick coming in. They've defending to do now. As Tomas Clancy takes it into contact and loses the ball in contact. Rory O'Carroll has it, but given away. Paddy Kassan! Oh, Kassan has put that wide. An unbelievable chance for Paddy Kassan. ball is tricky. Brogan taking on Shields. Is he going to get past him? And Shields did enough to put him off. It's out for another 40 games. This is pretty much the same position as his last effort, which dropped a yard short. Cluxton.
Not this time.
No. Slots it over. Keane O'Sullivan had shuffled back, but Dublin still on the back foot, and Cork pressing as they have to at this late stage of the game as they seek the goal that'll bring them back into it, or maybe a point to continue their battle against Dublin. And Lockery has done that. He's put it over, James Lockery, and trying to lift his Bastic, and he sets off on his bike. Connolly is to his right, and Bastic fancies a crack himself, and Bastic has got a lovely point. They backed off in Cork, didn't think he was going to shoot, but he did, and scores 116-14 as we head into added time.
As the man of the match, the Clontarf star is with Claire McNamara.
Jack McCaffrey, congratulations. You played a crucial role today, and Dublin are into the All-Ireland semi-finals.
Yeah, well, obviously we're delighted, and we're just kind of taking it game by game now. There's no safety net for us anymore, so we knew Cork would put it up to us, and we're just chuffed to be through to the next round.
Dublin had very many goal opportunities today, but you finally put one away, and that was crucial.
I just hit it, got lucky enough, I suppose. Now, obviously we've a lot to work on in training based on that match, and going forward it probably won't be enough to bring us through the rounds, but we're looking forward to another 3 weeks anyway.
I suppose you could have been much further out of sight much earlier had you taken those opportunities.
I don't know about that now. If you look, first half Cork would have missed a few as well, and I'd say they're disappointed, but you know, they really put it up to us as we knew they would, and as I said, look, we're just happy to get the win.
In a tough test, you knew that too.
Gives it off to McCaffrey, who handles it 3 or 4 times before eventually sticks it in the top corner. Probably the only place that he could have put it. And it's great to see players
like all day was causing them problems.
Causing awful problems. And someday Dublin would score 10 goals and 45 points because they create so many chances, and at the same time they are so sloppy at times. It's just incredible. But to me, this was a 5-point annihilation. It should have been 15, it could have been 20. They were that much in control of the game, and yet there was a lot of weaknesses in the Dublin play, particularly in their backline.
Someday they might score 10 goals, Joe. They only got 1 tonight. They have 2 big games left.
It's an illustration of their superiority, that they could be so careless with precious goal chances, you know, and yet win by 5 points. And you know, you think that, and don't forget, Cork played them fair and square. So if a Dublin man was through, well, he was through. There it is. You're not going to drag him down. So Dublin had that luxury as well, and yet they missed chance after chance. And this is a bad habit, as Pat said earlier. This is happening game in, game out. And that's all very well until you're playing Mayo or until you're playing Tyrone, a team who will police you ruthlessly, and who will, if you can get 1 or 2 goal chances, if you get 1 goal chance, that must be taken. I mean, Bernard Brogan was very poor tonight. Dermot Connolly was very poor. Paul Flynn missed a goal chance today, very similar to the goal chance he missed against Mayo last year in the All-Ireland semi-final when he was clean through and hit the crossbar. These chances are not vital today, because I think that Cork really gave up the ghost pretty early in the second half, and the match became a non-event. But against a team like Tyrone, make no mistake about it, you miss 2 or 3 goal chances like that, you're beaten. It's as simple as that. Those are gold dust, and they can't afford to be put in the wide. It is right to say that they play with a great spirit. There was hardly a cynical foul in the game. They play with a spring in their step, but nonetheless, you know, if they're going to play like that in the next 2 games, they're not going to be All-Ireland champions.
But you know what you're looking at, Michael? In 4 of those 7 chances that we're highlighting, in 4 of them, it should have been passed on to a better placed colleague. And in the first half in particular, Paul Mann...
Conor, hard place to be right now, but just out of reach for you today.
Yeah, look, I think we were beaten by a better team, and you look, there's no disgrace in that. That happens, and that's sport and that sort of thing. And look, just wish Dublin all the best. You know, they were clearly the better team in the day, and you know, we wish them well in the remainder of it.
I suppose missed goal opportunities were a big feature of this game. You had plenty as well. Some of those will haunt you, no doubt.
Yeah, but look, that's sport. You know, some days they go in for you, more days they don't, and you know, you just have to get on with it.
Overall, you wanted to come up here today, and you were confident beforehand. You put in the performance, but just not enough, obviously, at the end. Yeah,
look, you come up, you give 70 minutes, you ask guys, and a lot of these guys have given an awful lot over many years as such, and you know, we came up short today, but look, you know, I keep saying it every day you go out, there's 2 teams, one is going to be a winner, the other is going to be a loser, but look, there's no discredit to our fellas. They fought it to the end, and I'd be very proud of them from that point of view.
Conor, I just want to ask you about the future. It's your 6th year now with Cork. Are you going to continue down that road? Is it too soon to say that?
No, look, I spoke to the players there now, and I'm stepping down as such. Look, I've had 6 fantastic years, great group of players, and they all know nothing.
An emotional day, obviously. Thank you, Conor.
It's dead on.
Well, Conor Coonahan has, over those 6 years, done the business for Cork, winning that All-Ireland in 2010. Of course, a former adversary of the three of you.
That's right.
He was a magnificent servant, both as a player and as a manager to Cork
Super
J.
fella.
And Cork J owe him nothing. He was absolutely brilliant, brought in All-Ireland, brought loads of league titles. Very admirable man, very honest man. Always send out his teams to play in the right spirit, in the correct spirit. He's a credit to the association. But I suppose I don't blame him for stepping down. I think this is a team in transition. There's a rebuilding job necessary in Cork, and probably maybe a fresh face, fresh voice, a new guy at the helm probably is the best.
Well, he does.
Great fella, 100% in all those ways, and all the right values. Espoises all the right values. He's just, he has stayed a bit too long. The team had tremendous potential, and possibly, if he had someone alongside him who was shrewd enough, a shrewder tactician and all of that. But nonetheless, as Pat says, a fellow who you could only remember warmly whenever you think of him.
Well, he represented a bit of old decency. He was a very honourable man in all his dealings with everybody.
Lads, you've been talking to Pat, you've been talking to Joe as well.